Hi friends! As I promised, I begin to talk about character. Right now, from the top of the list, and our golden stallion Rufio opens it. Well, let's go. In general, Rufio is a very controversial character. It was seriously reworked several times, but not as serious and constantly as it happened with Tiandrin. The most stable and successful version of Rufio is the last one. The hero isn't well balanced as Balrog or Lunella, from which they are loved by players. However, no one high-level battle on the game Wells is complete without Rufio. Okay, let's take a close look at the hero. To make sure of this, we go to the tower and look at the records of the leaders. The Grand League is empty now. Everybody is on the track. But if you go into the High League, we see about the same picture. Rufio is always in the front formation, and as a rule, he will always be in Gent. This situation will be approximately the same on all servers. You can check this yourself. That is why you need to understand what you need this hero for. In short, it's used for one purpose: to raise the stats of the troops, plus the rapid destruction of the weak backline of the enemy. As I have already mentioned, Rufio has been very seriously reworked. His last ability on the list has been redone, as well as several passive abilities. Now he attacking type of the hero. Unfortunately, he isn't well balanced enough to survive long under attack. The main task of Rufio is to destroy weak troops in the enemy's regard in the short time, and Hercules fall in the battle. Okay, let's continue. Go to the heroes menu. What should this hero wear? The artifact line Pride is very suitable for Rufio. It's a wonderful artifact created specifically for melee hero. Heroes who are in the thick of the battle. It isn't a bad idea to put fighting prism on the hero, but always choose depending on the current situation. You can also use the prism to strengthen troops, or use the prism to strengthen Rufio. Okay, next. A great solution would be to put on Rufio the collected set. Miraculous Flank. Reduce hero damage by 35%. I agree, this is very good value. This kit is only available on Drake. You cannot buy it, at least not yet. It can be received only in the end of the Drake, before returning to Norlandia. You can see it in the final price. Improved red parts of the set drop from the same chests. Getting these chests depends on the luck of your house. First, this set includes the shield. Second, it deals fire damage. And the most useful of these properties is the +1 to all the abilities of the hero. Absolutely to everyone. Okay, we take it apart. Be sure to raise the value of stats for the hero. For this hero, strength is the very important, and raise it as high as possible. Rufio's endurance is raised by his passive abilities. Almost all of Rufio's abilities have the power to increase his damage. It's innately an attacking hero with a very strong base to attack. Unfortunately, you probably notice this in your fights and records. He doesn't survive long in the battle, so protection is extremely important for him. And of course, slightly rise his mana for protection from enemy marks and leadership from attacking speed. But we raise the protection and strength first of all. Well, now we talk about abilities. It's the most controversial and difficult topic for this character. Before we begin to consider abilities, it's necessary to understand that Rufio is a hero we put in the battle depending on the situation. Main different from Balrog because he is perfectly balanced, always useful in the battle and survives under fire. You should remember that he isn't Gavgar or Viron, who, thanks of their shields, resist of the enemy. His last ability is for the jump and inflict the maximum amount of damage in the enemy's regards. And now let's see what to strengths to the hero in the first place. We need to understand with who we will fight. Now before PvP, it's very easy to see all the details of the enemy. We can see that, let's say, we are faced the dwarf. The dwarfs will almost certainly have mechanoids and probably tanks. If we met a sylph opponent, it's almost guaranteed to have trees and deer. Trees will be 100%. Therefore, fearless should be pumped on the maximum in this case. Rufio copes will with large combat unit. The giant ones are even better than the big ones. The situation will be completely different if we meet, for example, a player who plays for the Rakan race, people or lich. Liches are, as a rule, always use the undead. Therefore, we will not meet giant units at the lich. The situation is similar for Rakan. As a rule, we will not meet large troops. This is exactly the same situation for people. As a rule, people will have almost 100% swords and archers. Accordingly, fearless is the case will also be completely useless. And now, in the other words, we need to understand with who we are fighting. In PvE is easy. We just immediately see what we are up against and switch on the other attacking specialization accordingly. Okay, deal with this, I hope. Let's see how this ability works in action. We put up our hero on battlefield. Alright, watch what happens. The stunning had just worked and all the non-massive troops were stunned. We just talked about Blitzstorm. If we are faced with massive and large unit, this ability should be selected in the least. The next ability is Bloodbath. This is a vampire. How does it work? If Rufio had injury after the battle, he will recover faster. But it isn't the most important thing. The most important is that as soon as we active Blitzstorm or Chopping Blade, at the same time Rufio restores a certain amount of his health. And the last ability is the most important and useful. It is Deep Impact. What does this ability do? Rufio jumps into the specified area, hits the ground, and stuns enemies on 3 seconds. And damage change when his ability increase, but the seconds of ability doesn't change. Ability doesn't do much damage. However, it is take out absolutely all enemies for enough long time, and this is the most important action. Well, let's demonstrate this. So we go again to the battlefield and expose Rufio. Let's see what's happened. The stun just worked. Now we can send Rufio to flight. It's interesting that Rufio can jump over the wall during the siege of the enemy garrison. You can throw him through the wall so that he doesn't interfere with the troops and other heroes during the siege. Now, let's see how Rufio's ability work in dangerous. We are putting our hero to the battlefield and enemies receive damage. There is an interesting theater of this hero, and it's known from the beginning of the game. If you transfer the hero behind giant units, it can be dragon, sphinx, it can be any boss. As a rule, the boss begin to turn to the hero and at the same time ignoring our troops. When Rufio is distracting the boss out, our troops are shelling him in a safe. Very useful on difficult bosses. Notice how easy it was for Rufio to deal with the dragon. The hero deals extra damage against giant units. So, in summary, what abilities for Rufio need to be improved by default? First, for all situations, we raised the last ability Deep Impact in the maximum. Secondly, in the any case, we raise the Intimidation Shout. It will increase the stamina of the hero, respectively increase his survive. And at the beginning of the battle, he stun all intangible enemies facing forward. You can agree that at the beginning of the battle, disabling the maximum number of the enemies is always useful. And most importantly, these abilities add stamina of friendly troops. As soon as Rufio enters to the battlefield, all our units received additional health. Only for this you can put Rufio in any battle or any PvP, because the health of troops is never superfluous. And we continue. Fearless to the maximum, because giant and large units are very common. Rufio will bring maximum benefit in any battle. Now let's look at the typical situation, how this character is used. As a rule, we have troops on the first and second line. Abilities attack line. Now we're dropping Rufio into the rearguard. When he striked at weak defended enemy units. Something like that. Well, my friends, Rufio is the first character in the several of reviews. In the next video, we will talk about Avril and so on down the list. Let's go over the strength and weakness of each character. Don't miss it. It will be interesting. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you for the likes and good comments. Don't be sick. Stay on the bright side. Good luck to all and bye.